It is Brianetic Sports. My name is Brian, and today we come back with another, of course, version of the sports news as well as analysis of a few things that are happening in the world, around or over us. And of course, one thing I have to remind you, our notice is that we've noticed that a lot of people come to this channel, you watch the videos, and you go without giving us that subscription. So can you stop whatever you're doing? Just go to just down there's the word subscribe just besides our page name. Subscribe, give us that support, because we are going to be giving you daily information coming in the world of sports. And of course, it's about the news as well as feature stories that we really, at least we find very relevant to the world of sports. So my name is Brian, and I'm going to be always here to give you the latest word of sports in there. And of course, from the previous video, we talked about, of course, how we can improve our infrastructure, a few things that have been challenges. And if you didn't watch that video, I have to remind you, before even going further into this video, you can watch that. You can follow that link that is in the description, as well as provided up there for you to come out and, there's a link that is going to be put up there for you to come and follow up with what this story, as well as this interesting discussion. And first, we talked about how Uganda can improve their infrastructure, not only Uganda, but also other countries. We talked about how, of course, the challenges that come with creating this infrastructure, things to do with money, and how we can improve them. And today we are continuing with that kind of talk. And today we are talking about the gender sensitivity. How can we help each other out? Remember, we talked about the community development of infrastructure. We need to call on all the communities around us to come and organize the funds, because if we really need to develop this infrastructure without government support, we need to do it as a community. And this infrastructure will help develop the communities through the youth that really get involved into the sports facilities, academies, and all that stuff. They help improve the people in there. And of course, we've seen youngsters that go all the way to England, to the USA, to play professional football, to Europe as well, and we've seen them earn a lot of money and come back and support communities. Sidoman is one of the few people that we've seen. He has built schools, he has built hospitals, and it's all from a humble background from his country. So we need to work on that to see that we improve our infrastructure. And of course, like we said, infrastructure in Uganda is being built. Hoima Stadium is almost underway, the construction. We also know that Akibwa Stadium is underway. We have other stadiums around the country that need to be constructed. There is one all the way in here in Mengo, that is the Academy Stadium. It's supposed to be working as an excellency center for FUFA. It is supposed to work as an academy and a way of really developing this stadium. It can also really generate a lot of money, especially to the community around it. We also have a lot of them. There is one all the way in Lugazi that is also supposed to be constructed. We have one in Barara that is supposed to be constructed. So, and remember, these stadiums that we are going to be constructing for the African Cup of Nations 2027, they are going to be having training facilities in there. And the essence of this video is, of course, to improve on the sustainability of the stadiums. How can we really come there and improve them even beyond the tournament, beyond 2027? We need to make them active. We need to utilize them, and we need to get the best out of them for us to really at least get the benefits of this tournament of 2027. And of course, we talked about private public partnerships. We also talked about how, of course, we can drive in the income, the ticket sales, and all that stuff. We also talked about innovative features, for example, having sustainable energy, having all that stuff onto the stadiums. But also today we are going to be talking about having, of course, gender sensitive infrastructure. You remember that we have a lot of women now getting involved. We have clubs in Uganda. In fact, now it's a requirement for all the clubs that are in the Uganda Premier League to really have a feeder women's team. They need to have at least a team that plays football from the women's side. So we are seeing it getting developed. In fact, for any club to go and play any tournament on the African level, level, you need to have a women's team that you have built and supported. And we believe that that is the way to go for women to also be involved, because first of all, it creates a bigger pool of generating income. And I'll give you an example. For teams like Arsenal, I told you, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea are all having women's teams that are competing in the Women's Super League. And funny bit about it is that now we have, a lot of, fans getting into the stadiums. Like I told you before, Arsenal have broken the record of the record attendance for the Women's Super League this season over 3 or 4 times. And I'm not talking about 20,000, 30,000, over 50,000 people getting into the stadiums. That is money. So how can we improve on the finance that is coming into our game? Is having gender sensitive, facilities that really support. First of all, we need to have training facilities that support women. We need to have stadiums that support women. Yes, besides the men, we need to have locker rooms for women, specifically for women, which means that you need to put facilities, things like, things that support with the women and their nature, things to do with when they are going into that time of the month when they need support. You need to really consider all that and see that it happens. First of all, the restrooms, there's also the privacy itself, because it's been an issue, because women are always, we've seen stories of women being violated, especially sexual harassment. We need to create those equal opportunities as well. We need to have gender sensitive constructions, well lit pathways, because you remember that some of these stadiums are not very good. I saw it in the Uganda match against Botswana and all the other matches that we've had in Nambole. Some of the things that we do around the stadiums are not gender sensitive. You cannot have a woman watch a football game and go in the way late night, like for example 9 or 10 p.m. and they are walking in dark pathways. We need well lit roads, because first of all, they are very sensitive to whatever can happen to them. People do a lot of funny things. They touch women, they violate their bodies and all that stuff. So we need to have gender sensitive facilities where they have well lit pathways, secure parking ways, secure a lot of things. The coaches themselves need to be given an opportunity. In fact, one of the other things that I really think is very important, engaging women into the decision making, because when we are constructing this infrastructure, for example, now Hoima Stadium is going to be constructed, or Akibua, we need to have women have a say and have a contribution to these facilities, because that is the only way we can have gender sensitive facilities. We need to have them contribute to the budget, give their view and opinions of what they would want to see in these facilities, because now we are not going to be having Nambole being used by men alone. We are going to have women use it alone. So if it's men making the decisions, and we don't only need them to be on the lower level, but even in the upper level, it's very good to see that our Ministry of State for Education and Sports is a lady. I know she would really want to see the ladies' progress, so we need to involve them a little bit more to see that everything is there. Even the fund allocation, if you are allocating funds to academies for men and all that stuff, we need also to have equal allocation of that money, because the women we have, the likes of Najemba, the Hausia Najembas of this world, we have a lot of women that have made it, especially on the local scene here, professionally. So we need to find a way of involving women, especially in there. The other way we can make these facilities a little bit more profitable is engaging the youth. How do we engage the youth? First of all, we need to go back to the grassroots. We need to teach the basics of, for example, football, playing football, not only football, but all the other sports disciplines. We need to go back and go to the basics. Teach these kids these games when they're still at an early age, because it grooms them to be what they're supposed to be. We've seen parents that have done that. For example, the likes of Alpha Sally, the so-called Baby Cool. He has done it to his son, and we are now seeing him reaping at least something. A boy can now support himself. He's now grown up to be a man. He can support himself because he earns money from the club that he's playing for, and you expect him to really be looking for bigger opportunities. So we need these parents to come in and support their young people from grassroots level. A kid, for example, from the age of 4, they need to start getting involved into the sports academies. We've seen a lot of private sports academies, but those sometimes, some of them really will look at the talent, but some of them just look at the financial bit and the support that they can get from donors. So we need government to come in with a program that supports even the people that cannot afford, because we all know that these post primaries and all the other tournaments generate a lot of talent. So where does that talent go? We need to have a pool of players that are put together, and they live together and train together for 6 or 7 years. That can be the future generation that can revive our national team. So we need to have such a way of exploring those young talent and bringing them into the game. And the other thing I can say is also these institutions, of course, like schools, can be a very key factor in promoting this talent, because a school will always have co-curricular activities. So we can use these institutions for scouting purposes and also for picking out those people. But we also need to have this, youth sensitive kind of sports. The match day experiences need to involve facilities for young people. How do you, for example, put a club game on a weekly basis and don't have something that excites these young people? What are their tests and preferences? Who are the people that they follow? Who are the icons that they follow on a daily basis? And how do you get them to get to the stadiums using those people that they follow? You can use influencers, you can use artists, you can use everything. Make the match day experience a little bit more exciting. And to me, if you do that, then you'll have a lot of people, a lot of young people getting excited to be part of these games and this interesting tournament. So that is one way that I think that these young people can be involved in the game and can also be attracted. And we also need to make these games and also these sports facilities, they need to have opportunities for these young men. For example, job opportunities. I'll give you an example. A stadium like Kibwa Stadium or Hoima Stadium or any stadium that they can construct in Uganda, it needs to have facilities that can create job opportunities. For example, media facilities where you can have technical teams, cameramen, you can have production crew in there, the cleaners in there, technical, offices whereby, for example, because we have a pool of so many people that are in the media that go study media, but when you consider, for example, all the TV stations that are in the country, you'll have like 10 of them that can really give them a career that is paying a little bit, and also a career that can help them at least not regret why they studied or they went to media courses. So you need to create a pool of job opportunities through creating for example, content and all the other stuff. A stadium like Nambo, it should have content creators. It should have a media team. Yes, it has a media team, but it should have a vast media team. It should even be able to make its own productions. For example, for matches, why would they license someone from Europe or France to really come and capture a game that is in Uganda? They need to invest in things like production cameras, your high-end cameras, those cameras that cost over 600 or 500 millions, create things that are really good, have good audio, have everything that is up to the standards. There's also supposed to be a marketing, crew that is supposed to be working on the marketing of the stadium and marketing of this facility to generate sponsors in there, because like I told you in the first video, we need to have a little bit of sponsorships coming into the stadiums. A stadium cannot be sustained if at all it's about match day revenue. They need to have vast ways of collecting that money. So through that and all the other ways of doing that kind of income generating, then we can make these stadiums a little bit more productive. So without leaving the support of government, because the government is the biggest stakeholder in all this. And you remember when we have anything to do with this nation, going on the levels and winning medals and all that stuff, the government will be the one that will be respected. It will be given the accolade. In fact, the flag will be raised high, and the nation will be given respect. So we need the government to come in and support on every level, and also see that everything is put. In fact, even in the law and all the other acts that they're doing of parliament and all that stuff, they need to involve, sports disciplines and laws that really govern the things that I've talked about, and also give them a room to really make them profitable. So that is what we had for you today. But of course, in the next video, we'll be talking about that high altitude center. Someone sent me a request to talk about that high altitude center, to talk about its progress. I'll be coming back and telling you more about it, only if you only subscribe to this video and share this video as well, because we are going to be looking at things to do with sports facilities, sports news and all that stuff here on Brianetti Sports. My name is Brian. Stay safe, stay tuned, and enjoy your day. See you in the next video.